Public meeting of the Lowell Zoning Board of Appeals for May 28, 2015. Before we get started, if everyone could check your electronic device, make sure it's either turned down or turned off, please. And if there's anyone here that plans on speaking on behalf of a petition, if you could sign in with your name and address at the podium before addressing the board. First matter before us is a continuance of ZB 2015-11. Petitions of special permit and variance. The applicant is Steve O. Nominee Trust, property located at 339 Mammoth Road. And the petition special permit for parking pursuant to section 6.155 of the zoning ordinance, and variances for landscaped open space and landscaping pursuant to section 6.19 and 6.5 of the zoning ordinance to allow for the demolition of a residential structure and the construction of a 2-unit commercial business for use as a restaurant and variety store. So we've received the communication, and I know the applicant is here this evening. So what I'd like to do is, unless you have something else to say, I'd like to just read this into the record.
Okay.
All right, thank you. So we received communication from the petitioner, Chairman Bailey. At this time, I respectfully withdraw without prejudice my proposed project for 339 Mammoth Road. Thank you for consideration, and that's signed by the trustee, Stephen O'Neill. So, with that said, with the applicant withdrawing, what I'd like to do at this time is to take a vote by the board members to approve the withdrawal of 339 Mammoth Road. Could I have the motion, please?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for ZB 2015-011 for 339 Mammoth Road to withdraw without prejudice.
Could I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Bailey.
Approve the withdrawal.
Mr. Callahan.
Approve the withdrawal.
Mr. McCarthy.
Approve with withdrawal.
Mr. Peck.
Approve withdrawal.
Mr. Perrin.
Approve withdrawal.
Okay, Mr. O'Neill, you've been approved?
Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you. Have a good evening.
So, thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, next order of business is under new business. This is ZB 2015-14. The petitions of special permit and variance. The applicant is 112 Walker Realty Trust. The property is located at 112 Walker Street. And the petition variances for dimensional requirements pursuant to section 5.1 of the zoning ordinance to allow for the establishment of a 3-family residential structure in the traditional multifamily zoning district. Good evening, sir. If you could just tell us who you are, please.
My name is Mark Gietzi. I'm the owner of 112 Walker Street.
Okay. And could you, briefly tell the board what you'd like to do?
Okay, we purchased the home about a year ago, and it's in decrepit condition, and we are investing a lot of money in it to bring it up to code and so forth. We bought it with the understanding we thought it was a 3-family because that's how it was assessed. One could say we didn't do due diligence. Turns out that it wasn't a 3-family, and we didn't find that out till we applied for permits to renovate. And so we're going through the process to try to make it a legal 3-family. What was that meeting? I think last week we had the meeting with the planning board.
Yep.
And they asked me to come back this coming Monday with a diagram, just some more information to try to provide a couple of parking spaces. And that's what we're doing right now.
Okay.
And as a result of that, I guess this had to get put off.
Okay.
And if I can apologize for something, this would be the second time, and the first time was because a mistake was made on the newspaper ad, and so it was suggested that
Sure.
the neighbors could be advised
Yep.
that we postpone it. So that was the reason for the first time.
Yep. We were advised of that.
Okay.
And so June 1st, is that the date of the next planning board meeting?
Yeah, I
Is that
believe
right?
so, Monday.
Okay. So you need to go before planning board first.
Right.
And then if you, I guess, pass muster with planning board, then you'll be coming before us for whatever variances
Yes,
you're
I
looking for.
believe so.
And special permits. Okay, anything else you want to add? That's for us. Yeah. You're all set?
Okay.
So you'd like to, so Joe, as far as the continuance, should we put him on for June 8th with the understanding of, again, if he doesn't, I guess, make it out of planning board, then it may be the meeting after the 8th for ZBA.
Sure.
So we'll continue it to June 8th at this point,
Right, and then,
pending how you make out the planning board
right,
on the
if
first.
things go well for me
Yep,
Monday, then next week, I guess.
yep.
Okay,
Okay, so we'll, Mr. Clerk, can I have a motion, continue to June 8th, please?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for ZB 2015-014 for 112 Walker Realty Trust on 112 Walker Street to be continued to June 8th.
We have a second?
Second the motion.
Roll call.
Mr. Bailey?
Continue to June 8th.
Mr. Callahan?
Continue to June 8th.
Mr. McCarthy?
Continue to June 8th.
Mr. Peck?
Continue to June 8th.
Mr. Perrin?
Continue to June 8th.
Okay, sir. Hopefully we'll see you on June 8th.
thank you for
Good
taking
luck.
me early.
Have a good evening. Okay, our next matter before us is ZB 2015-21. The petition is a variance. The applicant is Michael and Sandra Sullivan. The property is located at 6 Carley Way. And the petition's a variance for the construction of a new garage. The applicant is seeking variance approval under Section 5.1 of the City of Lowell zoning ordinance. The parcel comprises approximately 10,000 square feet of land area and is located in the suburban single-family zoning district. Good evening, sir. Are you Mr. Sullivan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I am. I'm Michael Sullivan.
Okay.
We live at 6 Carley Way. We are also the owners of the property. We've lived there for 15 years, ever since the house was built. At the time, budget constraints, we didn't have a garage built, although the land could accept a 2-car garage.
Sure.
Based on what we'd like our approach to be, with your approval, is to have a 28-foot wide attached garage put on our home. Unfortunately, because I live at the corner of 2 streets, I have 2 frontages and not just one, so the 25-foot setback of frontage applies on 2 sides of my property. So with the garage addition we're looking to do, we would be 4 feet into that 25-foot setback on our, what I call this my side yard. It's my other front yard. So that is our variance, and our request is for approval of that variance.
Okay, good. If there's nothing else you'd like to add at this point, I'll open it up to the public.
Fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anyone here would like to speak in favor of this petition? In favor? In favor? Hearing none, that portion of public hearing is closed. Anyone here would like to speak in opposition? Opposition, opposition. Hearing none, that portion of public hearing is closed. I'd like to open it up to the board. Sean?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have just one quick question for the petitioner. Just reviewing the plans and whatnot, and I've been to the property. It's a very well-maintained property. It looks like the garage would fit in with, obviously, with the, neighborhood and remaining houses. I'm presuming the garage is going to extend out to the end of your driveway, to the back end of that. You're not intending to make any additional pavements or anything on the property.
I should have. I haven't measured the width of the driveway, so I'm not sure if that's going to accommodate the 20. I assume it will too, because if you noticed, we had a little bump out for a fireplace that never got built either, and
Yeah.
that's now going to get cut off and paved over as part of the garage floor. I don't know the answer to that question specifically, whether the far left driveway would require some change in the pavement or not.
Okay, that was my only real main concern about it. Otherwise, I mean, everything, like I said, the garage, it seems like a decent idea. It fits in with the rest of the neighborhood.
I'll add, Sean, I think it's the only house that could have had garage or garages put on it that didn't at the time, and I
Yeah.
regret it now, but that was 15 years ago.
Yeah, I got you.
Thank
No,
you.
but it's a very nice property, and I'm in support of it, but that was just what I want, my only real concern. But
I appreciate that.
Otherwise, I wish you the best of luck. So.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Sean. Dan?
I have no comments, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Dennis?
Through Mr. Chairman, I'm going back on the driveway. I think we have a zoning ordinance that stipulates, Joe, if I'm correct, is it 15 feet is the maximum width for a driveway?
For a driveway opening in the SSF, it's actually 20 feet now,
20 feet, okay.
or the curb opening, yeah.
20 feet for a curb opening.
Yeah.
So you should be aware of that, and your garage is going to be 28 feet wide?
If the variance is approved, that's our approach, yeah. We're hoping to have a mudroom attached to the house, from the house to the garage, so that added an extra 4
Okay.
feet.
So that sounds like the 20 feet would work then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
It seems like it makes a lot of sense to finally get your garage built, so. and you're
I
only
wish I'd
asking-
done it before this winter, sir.
I'm sure you do. Okay. Well, thank you. No further questions.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Gary?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I think it's a great project. Obviously, the corner lot is a perfect spot for it. I'm glad my colleague brought to your attention the 20-foot width of the driveway, and I wish you the best of luck over there.
Right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yep. Well, I think, again, based on the board's observations, I know, and I wrote out there myself, not that it should be a consideration, but I didn't think I saw one house without a garage, so.
Just one.
So I don't think, giving you relief is going to cause an issue there, but no, we've had a few of these petitions with us, with a petition on a corner lot, and it causes, some challenges. But based on the comments of the board, and also if we look at the prerequisites for the variance, the special hardship in this case would be having the corner lot and having to meet two frontage. Obviously, the shape and size of the land and the location, and since none of your neighbors are here this evening in opposition, it goes well. As far as, did we get a set of plans for the actual garage?
We've not even signed on with a contractor yet, actually. We're close to doing that, but we will submit a set once we finalize that. I've got a preliminary set. It's actually a front view and a foundation layout, and I can leave that with you if you'd like.
Well, I think what I'd like to do, Dennis, is condition the set of plans that you are putting together, that we have DPD review it before the permit is issued, just to make sure what you say you're going to put there, does go
Is
well.
what we're going to do. And would that be the permit for the foundation or for the whole addition, sir?
Well, it would include everything, If you need to, you can speak to Joe tomorrow.
Okay.
And just get it exactly what they require, but generally, we would have a set of plans to show exactly what you're going to put up there, but I understand what you're saying.
Very good.
Is there anything with the driveway we need to entertain, or we all set? Okay. Any other conditions by any other members or comments? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I think that you just raised a good point about reviewing the plans, and I saw, I think, in the application that the cost of construction is $90,000 or something. Is that including a room over the garage then?
The room over the garage is subject to budget on the project.
So that's the idea of it. So it's a
it's-
garage as well as a room over the
Right.
garage? Okay, I just wanted to raise that as a understanding of what we're going to be seeing, or what the DPD is going to be seeing for the
Okay.
plans.
Yep, thank you.
So, Joe, I'm going to assume whether there's a finished room or not a finished room should have no bearing with our vote this evening.
No, it shouldn't. The garage where the parking will be laid out on the property, there's still enough distance there to cover any setback issues there.
Okay. All right. So could I have a motion, please?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for ZB 2015-021 for a variance for 6 Carly Way, with the following condition that DPD is to review the full set of plans prior to a permit being received.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Bailey?
Approved with conditions.
Mr. Callahan?
Approved with conditions.
Mr. McCarthy?
Approve with condition.
Mr. Peck?
Approve the conditions?
Mr. Perrin?
Approve with conditions.
Okay, Mr. Sullivan, you've been approved. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you all very much, I appreciate you.
Yep, you're welcome. Thank you. Okay, our next order of business is ZB 2015-22, the petitions of variance. The applicant is Katie Dolan. The property is located at 55 Wollaston Street. The petitions of variance for the construction of a deck within the rear setback. The applicant is seeking variance approval under section 5.1 of the City of Lowell zoning ordinance. The parcel comprises approximately 8,702 square feet of land area and is located in the suburban single-family zoning district. Good
Hi,
evening.
my name is Katie Dolan.
Hey,
I
Katie.
am one of the owners, along with my fiance, of 55 Wollaston.
Okay.
And I came today to propose to construct a deck out of the rear of our house. I actually brought a sketch of copies for everybody if you would like to see that as
Sure.
well.
Yep,
If that helps along before I
sure.
verbalize
Yep.
it, or,
You
okay.
can bring them up. So if you want to walk us through your plans that you submitted this evening, that would help. Thank you.
Sure. So we purchased the house less than a year ago and moved in to get a larger home because we had a baby. He's a little one. He's 1 year old now. And to keep the yard safe, we just put in a fence around one side of the yard. And now we're putting a deck out the back so that we can eventually fence in the other half and keep the yard safe and be able to watch him from the deck. And so we're proposing out the rear of the home. We have some like wetland kind of stuff towards the rear. So there's actually a large distance between our home and the neighbor's home. But we have to partition because the previous owner had gotten a variance to build the home and it was already too close. So we went to go look at building the deck, and we found out that, you know, we needed a variance because it was too close to the property line. Anything else?
Okay. I thought you were searching for something else that...
Oh, no, I was just looking to see if I forgot anything. There's a lot of details
that's
written.
okay.
If you'd like me to read through that, I can read through that.
Hey, I'm in no rush. I got nowhere to go.
I can go through the details. We're using a local contractor, Crowley. He's been in
Yeah,
recently.
Mr. Crowley was in here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, unfortunately, he couldn't come because his son had an event tonight, an awards event, so he gave me a lot of details in case you had questions about, and I
Okay.
can answer any questions that you have.
Okay, all right. If you have nothing else at this point, what I'll do is I'll open it up to the public, and then we'll open it up to the board, okay? Anyone here like to speak in favor of this petition? In favor, in favor? Hearing none, that portion of public hearing is closed. Anyone in opposition? Opposition, opposition. Hearing none, that portion of public hearing is closed. Open it up to the board. Sean?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to thank the petitioner for bringing the synopsis and the sketches. That was one of my things I would like to, certainly like to see, like, you know, the dimensions of the deck and how high it was going to be and whatnot. But otherwise, I did go by the property, and it would seem something that would fit in with the general ambience of the neighborhood. So I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Van?
I have no comments, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Dennis?
Through Mr. Chairman, I just want to understand a little bit about the aspects of the site. So you call out 6 steps on the staircase. So my assumption is that the deck is going to be about a step below the finished floor of the house? So it's gonna,
Yes, yes,
So it's going to be a little over 3 feet above grade? Is that the idea?
correct, yes.
Okay. And then you're going to have about 6 steps down in the back. And
Yep.
so the staircase, as well as the deck, is going to be part of the variance? Is that right? Because you require a 25-foot,
The deck
Rear yard.
that, the deck that extends out the back part requires the variance.
yeah, and then the steps that are attached to that, so it's the whole piece here? Because I think
Yes.
even your house doesn't meet the setback requirements for the zone either, so
Say that again?
the house itself,
Yes, that's what sorry, that's what I mentioned. They got, the previous owner got a variance to
the
build
house
that
itself.
house.
okay. What's the intent of the deck? It's strictly to be a single level, there's no roof being put over it or
No,
anything
no
like
roof, and we're gonna cover the bottom part of it
that?
with
Oh, you
a
are?
solid
So you'll do
vinyl.
Lattice or vinyl?
Yes.
Great, great, okay. All right, it makes a lot of sense to me. I agree with you that it's easy to have a deck to monitor a year and a half old.
We don't have an exit out the back, so it's nice to have something else to,
No question about it. Yeah. Well, I have no further questions, thank you.
thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dennis. Gary?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I do appreciate the narrative. Mr. Crowley was in here. It seems like he's doing the similar type projects with that lowered vinyl to encase the open space. So appreciate the updated plan and the narrative. And it's always nice to see a young family stay in Lowell and want to have some outdoor space with their young family. So I wish you the best of luck over there.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, again, I guess in this case, in the petition, I mentioned that the size of the lot, just to start with, is below conditions for this zone. It's actually almost 1,300 square feet less than required, which also leads, as the petitioner mentioned, how the house was positioned and the relief that's now required based on adding a deck for the home, which makes, again, perfect sense. It's a nice piece of property, and I'm sure a deck would be a welcome addition. Again, looking at the prerequisites, the one that stands out is, again, the hardship with the size and shape of the lot. And there's no neighbors here in opposition, and so I believe the public good and the intent of the zoning is satisfied. So, Mr. Clerk, based on that, I guess as a condition, if we can put into the record so Joe, the drawings that were put together by Mr. Crowley on behalf of the petitioner, excuse me, does DPD need something more formal, or is this okay at this point to work with?
I think this would be okay at this point to work with. Any drawings like this or anything more formal would come in at the time of the building permit.
Right,
So I think
okay.
this is okay at this point.
So I'm going to condition just to accept what's been submitted this evening, and then, as Joe said, and I think Mr. Crowley knows this too, we discussed this on a different petition a couple of weeks ago about the building permit. Okay?
Okay.
All right, any other comments, conditions? Okay, hearing none, could I have a motion, please?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for ZB 2015-022 for 55 Wollaston Street for a variance to construct a deck within the rear setback with the following conditions: that the drawings presented by Katie Dolan this evening, as well as the narrative, be accepted as part of the submission.
Do I have a second?
Second.
A roll call?
Mr. Bailey,
Approved with conditions.
Mr. Callahan,
Approved with conditions.
Mr. McCarthy,
Approve with condition.
Mr. Peck,
Approve conditions?
Mr. Perrin.
Approved with conditions.
Okay, Ms. Dolan, you've been approved. Wish you
Thank
the
you
best of
very
luck.
much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Have a good evening.
You too, thank you.
In record time. Wow. All right, our next order of business. Next order of business is under other business, administrative review, ZB 2014-66, the petitions of variance, the property is located at 900 Chelmsford Street, and the petition special permit for illuminated signs pursuant to section 6.329D of the zoning ordinance, and variances for freestanding signs pursuant to section 6.328B, 6328C, and 6328D of the zoning ordinance. Good evening.
Good
And
evening.
you've been here a couple of times, right?
Yes, Christy Amendelari. I'm representative for Cross Point up in
Yep.
Lowell. And I'm here with our final design for Phase 2 of the exterior signage package.
Okay. And so, Joe, we received comments from the city on the, I guess I'll say final set of plans and submissions. Any other comments you'd like to make? Okay. Well, again, I think you've been here, as you've been here before, and we've looked at the project. I know some of the board members have mentioned just driving by, and, you know, it seems to get better over there as far as the, I really like the color scheme especially. I think it blends in nicely, so with that, I won't go on and on and on, but, so Joe, if this is just administrative review, I mean, I can open it up to the board, but is there anything else we need to take action with on this?
Yeah, there should be a motion just to accept the revised plan as a minor change, if
Okay,
that's the way the board would like to go.
okay. Well, I'll open it up to anyone on the board. Does anybody have any questions for the petitioner with this latest submittal? Yes, Don.
Actually. So the last time you were here,
Yes,
we saw some numbers. I
yes.
think it was a 1, 2, and a 3 indicating the buildings itself. Now, that's not part of the submission. I haven't seen it done yet, so
No, we,
those aren't
didn't-
happening.
that did not make it.
Ugh.
It was very expensive
Okay.
and very large. They ended up being.
They were bold. They were
They-
fun.
They were fun and bold, but they were just a little too costly.
These are outstanding as well, so I'm glad you're going forward with these, but
Yeah.
they would have been fun. Anyway,
Yeah.
just wondering what happened to them. That's
Cost.
okay, I understand.
You have anything?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so if we could have a motion to accept the final submission documents, please.
Through Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for the ZB 2014-066 for variance, I'm sorry, for variance or special permit, Joe?
I believe it was for both at the time.
Okay, do we want to do separate votes for each, or?
I don't think it would be necessary. I think you could
Okay,
do one.
for a special permit for illuminated signs, as well as a variance for a freestanding sign at 900 Chelmsford Street.
And are we accepting the latest set of plans? Did you already say that?
And incorporating the latest set of plans that were submitted as part of this submission package.
Okay, thank you. Could I have a second?
Second the motion.
So could I have a roll call?
Mr. Bailey?
Approve.
Mr. Callahan?
Approved.
Mr. McCarthy?
Approve with condition.
Mr. Peck?
Approve.
Mr. Perrin?
Approved.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and probably be the last time we see you, huh?
Thanks. There's no conditions?
I'm sorry,
I thought you said approved with condition.
I was wrong.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
Have a good night. Thanks,
Yep.
guys.
Thank you. Okay, our next matter before us, get there, is another administrative review, 462 Bridge Street. The property owner is seeking to have a confirmatory vote from the board as to the current use of the property containing 11 residential units as opposed to 10 units. Yes, Mr. Flood, how are you? Well, they didn't get rid of me.
I'm here tonight on behalf of Vincent Din, who's the owner of the property at 462 Bridge Street, which is the site of the former Fruins Market. He's really not a client of mine, he's a client of my daughter's, but she's out of state, so I'm filling in tonight. I think the only one that was on the board at the time this was previously in was you, Bill. If you'll recall, Fruins Market had a fire on the second and third floor, and those residential units were damaged. Our client purchased the property from Imperial Capital Bank, which foreclosed, and since the fire was more than a year prior, they had to come in for special permit to reestablish the prior use. I think at that time, now I wasn't here, but you were, if you recall, there was a lot of discussion about the second and third floor fires where there were 10 residential units. I've given you a bunch of pictures and documents pertaining to the property, but anyone who's from Centerville and remembers Fruins Market will remember on the first floor, there was always a residential unit next to the market. I've also given you a legal use letter from the city that shows 1 commercial and 11 residential. So I think what probably happened at the time was there was such a discussion about the 10 units up above, there was no reference to the one down below. Our client was about to sell the property, and when someone looked at the decision on record, they said, oh, there's only 10 units, when in fact there are 11. So Catherine and I met with Joe and Eric to discuss it. Did you submit the plans that we gave you? There's no record here in the city of what happened at that meeting. So we gave them copies of plans that were in 1997 and the plans in 2009 that were submitted, and it clearly shows the one on the first floor. So we're just trying to correct that. That's what we're in here for.
And now that Mr. Flood started discussing the location, Joe, now it suddenly came back to me, and not that it matters, but was Attorney Sheehy
Paul Sheehy
representing-
was the attorney.
I
yeah.
vividly remember it now
Yeah.
because for some reason, Fruins, I was thinking of a
Yeah,
different building, but they have the parking out back.
in the
and-
back, right,
yeah.
yeah.
All right, so pretty much what we're doing is trying to get the record straight of how many units are actually in the building, and
Right.
are they selling?
They're selling the building, yeah.
Okay,
building,
the
so-
whole building's being sold,
Whole
they're all
building being
rentals? Yeah, okay,
But I mean, it's clear that it was there. I remember Fruins Market, and I remember that unit on the side at all times.
Yeah.
So I think it was just because of the discussion
sure,
about the fire up on the second and third floor. So.
okay. Any board members have any questions or comments for Mr. Flood? Yes, Dennis?
I just want to understand parking for the site. Is there any parking?
There's parking in the rear.
There
There's
is.
parking in the rear. And I think originally there was a plan given that showed the parking spaces at the time.
Yeah, and well, not to interrupt, but I think we talked about parking in the rear, and I think we also talked about this city parking across the street.
Right.
So we figured out the availability of parking, and I even think Centerville Neighborhood Association was here during the discussions, but there is a city lot. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but I believe that was part of the package to support the residential units and the parking requirements.
Yeah, there's a city lot nearby, that's correct.
See, once in a while,
There is
I do come
Dennis's
around, you know.
How many spaces is there?
I don't know. We don't know where the plans went that were originally submitted, so. I mean, we looked for the file, right, Joe? Couldn't find it.
Yeah. No, I can probably speak for a fact that we met all the parking requirements between the rear and also
Public across the
a
way.
public parking area across the street.
Okay, very good. Thank you. That's all I had.
Sure. Anybody else? Any comments?
No comments.
Okay, so if we could have a motion to accept the documents submitted by Mr. Flood this evening. Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to accept the documents regarding 462 Bridge Street, Lowell, in reference to the addition of an 11th residential unit at the site.
Okay, could I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Bailey?
Approved.
Mr. Callahan?
Approved.
Mrs. McCarthy?
Approve?
Mr. Peck?
Approve.
Mr. Perrin?
Approved.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Mr. Flood, you're all set.
Thank you very much.
Record time. Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I figured when I saw Steve O'Neill at first, I figured he come here late, but.
Okay.
Good, thank you very much.
Yep, thank you. Have a good evening.
See you later.
All right, with no other matters before us, so our next meeting's June 8th, Joe, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And anybody else have anything they want to add? If not, could I have a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Have a second?
Second.
So moved.
I'm sorry. No way.